Good morning, you're watching CNN News 18 with me, Vandana Sebastian Baba. A quick look at the top stories making headlines this hour. NCB widens probe into the Bollywood drug nexus. Rhea names leading actors who consume drugs in a statement, says Sushant's Lonavala farmhouse was used for drug parties. Meanwhile, the agency is conducting raids in Mumbai and Goa. CNN News 18 accesses Rhea Chakraborty's call data records, which show that she had multiple conversations with designer Simone Khambata and actor Rakul Preet Singh, both under the NCB scanner. No summons issued yet. The Enforcement Directorate will investigate money laundering in the Sandalwood drugs case. Kannada film industry bigwigs will be summoned for questioning. The custody of Kannada actors Ragini Dwivedi and Sanjana Galrani has been extended until Monday. India and China will hold their 6th round of top-level military talks over the tense LAC standoff. Status quo at LAC for third night running as both sides continue to hold position at heights above 15,000 feet, but no escalation reported. And another grim COVID record for India as the national tally crosses the 46 lakh mark, highest single-day surge with nearly 98,000 new cases and over 1,200 fatalities in 24 hours. Now, will the NCB expose the alleged drug cartel in Bollywood? Murky details are emerging from the probe agency's findings. So far, certainly point towards that. In a 20-page statement to the Anti-Narcotics Agency, Rhea has made some sensational drug admissions. At least 25 top Bollywood personalities are currently under the NCB scanner for consuming drugs. Following Rhea's statement, now she has revealed to the probe agency that Sushant hosted parties at his farmhouse in Lonavala where celebrity friends and regularly consume drugs. Not only that, Rhea has also alleged that some actors even came with LSD, cocaine and marijuana at these parties. This right after call records accessed by CNN News 18 show that Rhea was in touch with Rakul Preet and Simone. The NCB now looks to probe all these A-listers named by Rhea Chakraborty. Let's now take you through the details of the confession that Rhea Chakraborty has made to the NCB. Let's put out those details on your screens. Remember, this was a 20-page statement that Rhea Chakraborty had given to the NCB. These are some of the revelations. The first is that leading actors consumed drugs with Sushant. Rhea has finally admitted that other Bollywood A-listers were involved as well. Sushant Singh Rajput's Lonavala farmhouse was used for these drug parties. Remember, this is something that she was questioned about as to whether the property that he had in Lonavala was used for these parties. She is now admitted to that. The third revelation, I have never attended the Lonavala drug party. She, however, says that she personally did not attend these parties. She, however, was aware that they did take place. She also says some actors provided contraband at these parties, admitting to the fact that drugs were consumed at these parties. Cocaine, LSD, curated marijuana were all consumed at the parties. Remember, until now, Rhea Chakraborty had only spoken about marijuana, but now she's admitted that harder drugs like cocaine and LSD were also consumed by Sushant Singh Rajput and his fellow Bollywood biggies. Lastly, Sushant Singh Rajput confessed a filmmaker introduced him to drug parties. She has put the blame on one particular filmmaker who she says influenced Sushant Singh Rajput to consuming drugs at these parties. So those are the details that we have. Going across to Shilpa Ratnam, who joins us for more on this. Shilpa, any details about when we are expecting these other Bollywood names who Rhea Chakraborty has allegedly named in a statement to be summoned? Shilpa, if you can hear me. All right, we'll try and reconnect to Shilpa in just a bit. But remember, there have been a number of big revelations in that 20-page statement that Rhea Chakraborty has given to the NCB. She has admitted to the fact that Drug parties took place often at the Lonavala residence of Sushant Singh Rajput. She's also admitted to the fact that certain Bollywood stars did attend these parties as well. So the heat has now come on these Bollywood stars who we are expecting to be roped in for investigations. So the NCB, remember, has also widened their probe by default into the alleged Bollywood drug nexus, with leading actors now being named by Rhea Chakraborty. Going across to Herman, who joins us for more details on this. Herman, tell us more about when we are expecting these lead actors in Bollywood to be summoned by the NCB for questioning.
Well, yes, good afternoon, Vandana. What we are given to understand is from the NCB, this is how the probe is going to go. Just as how we saw initially how the peddlers were, the first 5 peddlers were picked up and investigated and arrested. Based upon their confessions, it was Rhea Chakraborty and the others who were called in for summoning, and subsequently that led to their arrest. Similarly, in this particular case, what the NCB is looking at is, yesterday after a high-level meeting, instead of first just calling in or summoning the names that have been given by Rhea Chakraborty as well as others of these Bollywood actors, first they are trying to get in touch with those who allegedly supply these drugs to these Bollywood names. These are the not just drug peddlers, but rather they are small-time actors who, besides acting in films, also supply drugs to far more bigger names in the industry. So right now, the raids that are being conducted is in that direction to try and get their hands on the suppliers, and not just the peddlers, and get them in for questioning, ensure that their statements are taken down, ask them who all were they supplying these drugs from, and then match those names along with what Rhea has so far said. And based upon that, the summons will be issued. So one can expect a long time, at least 14 days, that is 2 weeks. In phases, people will be called in for questioning. Are we to expect these big names at the NCB office? One really doesn't know, because always there is a sense of reasoning within the NCB that this is now a high-profile case, not just limited to Sushant Singh Rajput's case. And there is a security risk also involved, considering the limelight that this case has been getting in. So their statement could have been recorded elsewhere. Now, in the next 10 days, they could be summoned. 3 names have already been doing the rounds, including that of Sara Ali Khan. She, in a way, is also directly linked, known to Sushant Singh Rajput, as they both have done a film together. Now, Rhea has claimed that she was the one who was also asking Sushant Singh Rajput to consume drugs. So, a lot of allegations, counter allegations. So, and right now, the NCB is trying to ensure there is some sort of possession of drugs found on these suppliers, get their confessions, see all who were they supplying, and then issue the summons. Right. But as of now, what I can tell you, Vandana, is that since morning, 2 people so far have been detained. Their questioning is out. By late evening, one will actually know as to what so far they have confessed. And at the same time, we do know in the eastern suburbs of Mumbai, in Powai, which also has a lot of film studios, there is a raid that is being conducted. Charas has already been recovered. Now, one does not know whether that's in small quantity or the commercial quantity. One will have to wait for that, Vandana.
All right, thank you, Herman, for joining us. Going across to Shilpa Ratnam as well for more details. Shilpa, as someone who tracks Bollywood and the film industry, what is your sense about, what the mood is within these industries with the investigations progressing the way that they are?
Well, I can tell you, Vandana, that the industry is split into 2 people. You have Kangna, who claims that the industry is 99% under the influence of drugs, and then you have those such as Anubhav Sinha, who say that a few bad eggs cannot define an entire industry. Now the industry by itself is adopting a wait and watch attitude. They've also decided that they can't keep quiet about everything anymore, so they have decided to come out in support of Rhea. They feel that she is being vilified, but as far as drugs go, they really aren't speaking up. Of course, there is a jitter that big names could be summoned and the kind of revelations that could come forward. So there is definitely a sense of unease within the industry. They also do feel that they are being targeted currently. They feel like they're being targeted for not offering enough support to the establishment, and they feel that this is punitive in a way. That is largely a reaction that I'm getting. That is largely the sense that I'm getting from the industry.
All right, thank you, Shilpa, for joining us with all those updates, and thank you, Herman, as well, for joining us earlier. Now, the investigation into the Karnataka drug racket gets bigger. The Enforcement Directorate has now registered a case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Film distributor Sushant Sambargi has now reached the CCB office in Bengaluru. Prior to this, another suspect in the drug nexus named Vaibhav Jain has been arrested by the CCB. Moving forward, the agency is expected to expand the investigation. Many bigwigs of the Kannada film industry will also be summoned for questioning. Actress Ragini Dwivedi has been sent to police custody until Monday in connection with the case. High drama ensued at the Bengaluru crime branch yesterday, where Sanjana Galrani claimed it was a fundamental right to not give a sample, whereas Dwivedi tried to spike her urine sample by mixing water into it. Both the actors later submitted samples for a hair follicle test. Well, bring in Revati Rajivan, who joins us live for more details on this. Revati, bring us up to speed with the latest in the investigations into the sandalwood industry.
Well, just a short while ago, Sushant Sambargi, the distributor who claims that he knows details about the links between sandalwood industry as well as the drug mafia, has appeared before the CCB. He is currently being questioned. His statements are being taken, in fact. And he had also come to the CCB office saying that he does have evidence. He came in with a file where he said that he has evidence even against Congress leader Zamir Ahmed as well. Now, he is the one who put out the name of Zamir Ahmed, the Congress MLA. According to him, a lot of these accused attended parties that was hosted by Zamir Ahmed, and he says that Zamir Ahmed too has links with this whole drug racket. So his questioning, his statement is being taken by the CCB at this point of time. Remember, he's the second person from within the industry to come out and give a statement saying that he does have information about alleged links between the industry and the drug racket. On the other side, actors Ragini Dwivedi and Sanjana Galrani's police custody, police interrogation continues, as their custody has been extended till Monday. And tomorrow, that is on Monday, we will know if there will be a further extension of that. But at this point of time, today and tomorrow, the police interrogation of these two actors will also continue. Vaibhav Jain, accused number 5, was also arrested today. So that, including that, there's a total of 11 people who have been arrested in this drug case that is registered by the crime branch in Bengaluru.
All right, thank you, Revati, for bringing us up to speed with the latest.
Side, asked and expressed concern over the amassing of troops with ammunition on the LAC.
Status quo, no activity along the line of actual control last night, but it is tensed still.
Now, India stares down at the dragon as China extends an olive branch amidst rising tensions along the LAC. India and China have agreed to hold Corps Commander level talks soon. While the date and time of the meeting are yet to be decided, it will be the 6th such meeting over the last 2 months. However, sources say that status quo continues at the LAC for the third night. Both sides continue to hold position at heights above 15,000 feet with no escalation. There has also been a visible reduction in the number of air sorties over Ladakh, and the Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat has told the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Defence that India's armed forces are ready for any eventuality. Now, as the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi return to their home countries today, the situation at the LAC remains calm yet tense. My colleague Arunima gets you this ground report from Leh.
The assessment of the commanders on ground is that till the time the Corps Commander level talks happen, I think the proposed date of talks is the 17th. So till that time, there could be status quo. The assessment here is that External Affairs Ministers of both sides, S. Jaishankar is likely to come back to Delhi today, Wang Yi likely to return to Beijing, and then they will brief their political leadership about how the talks went. Details that are not in the public domain, those details will also be shared, and then the message will go to the corps commanders, the commanders on the ground, who will then take the talk forwards. So the assessment here is that till that time there could be status quo. Both sides would want to maintain peace as it is holding in the last 3 nights, but that does not mean that either side is letting go of the position that they are holding. Both sides are holding on to the heights that they have managed to capture.
On that note, we'll take a quick break, but get the big picture from news events only on Money Control Pro. Get exclusive research, sharpest opinions, much more at ₹1 a day, and claim exclusive benefits worth 15,000 rupees. These are the last 4 days to avail. Use the code FREEDOM365. Subscribe now. Money Control Pro. It's worth it. In a shocking incident, a retired Indian Navy officer was attacked and beaten up by nearly a dozen men from the Shiv Sena for forwarding a satirical picture of the Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray on a social media platform. After arresting 6 culprits, the Mumbai police have released all of them on bail. The Navy veteran, currently undergoing treatment, demanded justice from the government and said that everyone in this country has the right to express their opinion. Well, going across to Herman for more details on this. Herman, any official reaction coming in from the Shiv Sena? How have they justified this barbaric behavior?
Well, so far there is no direct statement or anything coming in from either of the Thackeray's or any of the members of the Shiv Sena. But members of the Mahavikas Aghadi, that is the Congress and the NCP, have said that they have in fact distanced themselves from this issue, saying that there is no sort of space for violence when it comes to these kind of issues. All of the 6 have been granted bail. So here the PI who I spoke to at the station says that this has been, each of them has to also give a security bond of 5,000 rupees each, and they have also kept the COVID protocols in mind before releasing them. So far all 6 of them are out on bail, and no official reaction has come in so far, either from the Thackeray's or the Shiv Sena, both when they were arrested or now that they are out on bail.
All right, and any further details about the health status of the Navy veteran?
Well, we are told that he has in fact been admitted to a hospital because he's been complaining of some sort of headache, is what we are giving to understand. He's been sensing certain sort of pain in his head, is what we are told. So he has been admitted to a small private hospital close to his home at this point in time, and the doctors are tending to him.
All right, let's see whether the Shiv Sena reacts to this incident. Thank you, Herman, for joining us with those updates. India's COVID cases shoot up to over 46 lakh with the biggest ever single day spike of 97,570 cases. 1,201 deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours. Maharashtra continues to be the worst affected state from the infection, with over 2.61 lakh active cases and 28,000 plus deaths, while Andhra Pradesh is in second position with over 97,000 active cases and 4,702 fatalities. India's recovery rate stands at 77.65%, while the percentage of active cases stands at 20.7%. India has also aggressively ramped up testing. A total of 10,91,251 samples have been tested yesterday. In some positive news on the vaccine front, Bharat Biotech has announced that the animal study results of Covaxin have been successful and the results of the first phase of testing are encouraging. Now, as India unlocks pre-COVID air travel numbers will be back by the 31st of December, according to the Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri in an exclusive interview to CNN News 18.
Mr. Puri, you said that media is sounding alarmist. I'm telling you what the International Air Transport Association has said. They themselves are saying that the global passenger traffic will not return to pre-COVID era till 2024. Are you of the same opinion?
It's a simple issue. domestic civil aviation at the rate at which we are opening up today. Once all our states decide to allow the number of flights, it has been demonstrated that air travel is perhaps the safest mode of transport if you compare it to surface transport, bus, railways, etc. Everyone has a designated seat. The air ventilation is from top down, the nozzle comes down, gets filtered, clean, and the same is the case with the metro. So I am going to make a prediction to you on your show, and let's have a conversation later. Today we are at a point where we are reaching about 140,000 passengers per day. Okay, we will reach the 150,000 passengers a day very soon, and by the time we are in Diwali, we would be even higher. By 31st December of 2020, I am more than confident that our pre-COVID figure of 300,000 passengers a day would be reached. So not 2024.
By December.
31st December.
That's sounding very, very optimistic.
A quick look now at some other top stories from around the country. BSF troops have foiled an arms smuggling attempt and recovered 3 AK-47 rifles with 6 magazines and 91 rounds, 2 M16 rifles with 4 magazines and 57 rounds, and 2 pistols with 4 magazines and 20 rounds along the India-Pakistan border in Abohar, Firozpur district of Punjab. Youth Congress workers in Kerala were detained by the police following their protest outside State Minister K.T. Jalil's residence in Malappuram's Valancheri last night over his alleged involvement in the infamous gold smuggling case. Nicknamed Cinema Wale Babu, Ashok Lodhi, a teacher in Chhattisgarh, conducts mohalla classes for school students with a TV and speaker on his motorcycle. With the encouragement of locals, Ashok Lodhi has been lauded for his innovative teaching methods. In coordination with the Delhi Police, the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation has started a prepaid auto service at Shivaji Stadium. Passengers of the Delhi Metro's airport line can now avail the service at the Shivaji Stadium from today. NDRF teams pre-positioned at Uttarakhand's Chamoli district assisted 65 people in crossing a landslide-affected area at Birahi. The monsoon season triggers various landslides across the state due to torrential rainfall. On that note, it's a wrap on the show. Thank you for watching. Time for a quick break. Lots more on the other side. Stay tuned.